Hey, y'all! Hello,
Hello.
hello. Oh, we are super excited for tonight. We are going to be going over marketing 101 and 102. Be your own marketing expert, because we know as small business owners, we wear all the hats. So we want to make this
Yep.
easier for you. So you're going to get a bunch from hanging out with us tonight. You are going to find out some awesome marketing tips that you can take right now back into your business. You can use the chat box if you have questions as we go through. We're going to have some for you, so we really love when this is interactive. If you're watching this as a replay, please don't hesitate to hit us up to ask any of the questions that you might have that you didn't get a chance to ask live. So we really want to talk about taking that yuck out of selling. And I know that that can feel like a place that you kind of almost collapse. You'll have like an awesome consult or something like that, and then we'll get to the money part, and you'll either your rates won't be enough to sustain your business, or you'll talk about it and kind of just like crumple in. And so we want to talk about through all of this, like how you can feel really like powerful and intentional in your business and have it, take care of the world in reproductive health and justice as well as for you. So a few things tonight that we're going to talk about, some marketing tips, as I say, that you can take home right now and implement and, have a good time taking that yuck out of selling. And then we're going to talk also about our very first annual Bust and Barrier sale. We've got some prizes coming up, so stay to the end because we'll be giving away some awesome swag. And we have a promise that we do today, like every day. We're going to give you real and simple to use information from our experience. When you apply it, will help you build your birth business, your doula business, your health business, your wellness, whatever you're doing. It will only help build and grow. And that's what we want to do because we're all doing really amazing work and the world needs to see that. So before we go any further, we have a question for you all. We would love to know, what is your biggest marketing challenge? Big or small, doesn't matter. Throw that in the chat box so that we can address it tonight and just kind of see what these trends are. And it also feels really good to see what other folks are struggling with. I know for me, I'm in a super writing block slump right now. Actually, that's not true. I've written 30 pages over the last 24 hours. So we'll put that to the side. But I have so much to say and I just can't get there. So that's my personal marketing challenge. And we would love to hear yours, anything social media, understanding SEO, whatever it is, put that in the chat box. And while you are putting that in, we have a quick intro for you so you know who the heck we all are.
Who are we?
Who are we? We're the Babo Babes, and we are a pretty rad group of diverse folks. We've got Canadians on our team, Americans, Mexicans, Peruvians, Brusseliers, which is a word I just learned today. And we're continuing to grow our staff in all the countries with as much representation as possible. We have a very diverse group as far as our cultural, religious, racial, sexual orientation, diversity, body size, lived experience, all of it. And we're really, really proud of the brave space that we've built over the last 13 years with Babo Mia. If you want to read more about how we got here, you can check us out on our About page after the webinar, of course. But we're a reproductive health and justice training and a mentorship space and a community. And we built Babo Mia essentially because we felt like our weekend doula training fell short and we had to do so much trial and error to get our businesses going. And we just lacked that comprehensive, we lacked having the ability to reach out to anybody. We didn't know what to do exactly for a business. They were like, get a business card. And so we floundered, and we don't want anybody to flounder because it wastes time floundering. Then there's folks that need our support. Because what's happening in the birth and parenting space is only getting worse, especially after COVID. The stats were really bad before, and they're just getting more and more abysmal. And so we want to change what's happening for birthers and new parents, especially for those that identify with marginalized communities. So in North America, particularly, that's our Black, Indigenous, and people of color. We're experiencing the systematic racism leading to very poor birthing outcomes. I think after COVID, the rate was so staggering, but it was, as I say, abysmal before, and it's only more terrible. And it's also happening for our queer birthers, our trans and gender nonconforming folks. Anybody who lives in a fat body or plus size. The medical system is so incredibly fat phobic. And so we're getting this really crap treatment across the board as folks are going in. And we are cultivating a brave space for a community that celebrates all folks, all identities, and all bodies. So we're feminist entrepreneurs, and we know that it takes so much more than those couple hours we get during that time to run our business. But if that's all you got, we want to make sure that you're like bang for your buck with the time that you do have. We are going to be coming with like a whole range of things that, as I say, you can use right away. And this tonight is a really passionate topic for us. So it's going to be a little bit fast paced. We will be sending out a replay, or you can watch this. And as I say, if you have questions for Michelle or Meg or myself, I'm Bianca, you can put them in there, or you can always email us at info@babelmedia.com if you ever want to have a private chat. We'll also jump on a call with you. So we're here. Let's see, we've got so many comments. Okay, let me throw some of these out before we talk about why do we need to niche. So Nicole, hello. You feel like you can never make time to actually post on social media. It's depressing, right? I know someone today was like, you guys have to blow up your TikTok. And I was like, TikTok? Oh, it's another channel. I mean, I want to be there, but it feels really hard because
that's for goofy stuff right now. We'll get there. Right now it's for like goofing off.
Laura wants to be able to sell without using fear or that FOMO techniques. Yeah, look, we never want to do that. Like right now, only 5 left, or like, do you want to be part of this? Only the cool kids can sit with us. Ugh, we agree. So you want to have clients that need your help, and you don't want to feel like you force them into support. Ethical selling. It makes perfect sense. That's the foundation of doula care. That is like we use the same foundations of doula care in all of our business. Which is informed consent, taking your time, because we don't do it to our birthers, we don't want to do it to our potential clients, and we would never do that to y'all. You never have time to market, Melina. Hello, Melina. 2 times in a week I got to hang out with you. Come on now. Sarah, writing posts and being consistent on social media. I know when you get punished so quickly on social media, if you like have a little bit of a dud week, they just like send you right down to the bottom. Jacqueline, you were saying landing clients after money is discussed in social media. For sure, that money talk, it can just like crumple in this energy after you've had this like really powerful consultation. You feel really good about it, and then it all folds in. We also have some really fun free stuff coming at you that for next week, if anyone wants to sign up for that, we have answering all those questions with some awesome cheat sheets. A couple of people that didn't come in. Bro marketing and scarcity minding thinking. Yes, Amy with a barf face. Melina, you literally only activated your Facebook for this live. Well, we're glad you did. We got to hang out.
Well, if you're curious, this is also being played on YouTube and LinkedIn. So we are varieties for you to go and watch. So we are now multi-level streamers. Michelle's so excited about it.
I know. No big deal.
Making from Michelle. Yes. Bucket list achieved.
I love it. Okay. So Meg, I'm going to throw this out right off the jump. Very quickly, because we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about this. Why do we need to niche? What are some of the like top hits for this?
Yeah. Well, firstly, it sets you apart out in your area. So there's something like really unique and wonderful and special that you are able to offer. And when we're able to convey that information and messaging to potential clients, then it becomes super clear that you are the person that they want to work with. When we niche, people land on your website, your Facebook, wherever they're finding you. And immediately they're like, oh my gosh, this person made everything on here for me. Because your stuff is literally curated for that purpose. So for me, for example, I work primarily with folks who have a perinatal mood disorder or they're at risk of developing one. So everything on my website is with that in mind. My downloads are the Anxious Mama's Guide to Birth Prep. Like I know what their pain points are, and so I can solve for them. So it makes it easier when I'm picking out images, when I'm doing my copy, when I'm, creating any of my content. It's really, really clear that this is who it's for. And it doesn't exclude anyone else. So this isn't to say if someone was to come to me and say, Meg, I'd love for you to be my doula, but I don't have a perinatal mood disorder. I wouldn't be like, get out of here.
Get out.
Get out of here. I'd be like, okay, great. We are reviving. This feels really great. That's awesome. but it's also like, this is really clear. And when you niche, your word of mouth actually spreads much more quickly because people are like, oh, Meg's the person you go to if you've got a mood disorder. Michelle's the person you go to if you really want to make sure that, you know, like you've got support for people in big bodies. Bianca, if you want somebody who's going to support you and your family and all of those things, advocate like hell for you, she's going to do that.
And for the gays. I'm here for the gays. For the gays? Because we get treated like garbage in our health system.
Sure do.
So yeah. And it takes the selling out. So this was, you know, some of your pain points, like this, I don't want to sell. It's gross. Don't sell. Like, oh man, it feels terrible when you're getting sold to. V, great question. Is it a good idea to work by word of mouth rather than through an online platform? And this is one of the ways. This is literally at the end. We're going to be like word of mouth for the win. And so when we're looking at this, our potential clients, I want you to just take a beat, because when you look at most doulas websites, they have like, you know, the expectations here. This is the rate of C-sections. This is the rate of, you know, no induction. This is the rate of body feeding success. And like, those are really, really cool stats. But like when you close your eyes and you imagine your clients, or you imagine the client, like if you're brand new that you're going to have, do they want that? Or do they want fill in the blank? Do they want to know they're going to have somebody beside them because their partner might be deployed? Or they're going to have somebody that's going to like hype them up when they have to tell their in-laws that like they're not going to circumcise, or they're going to like choose not to feed from their body? Or like, do they want to feel not so scared anymore? Do they need somebody to like validate them because they're really scared they're going to have an operative birth because everyone in their family had operative births? So like, they're very clear, and it's usually a feelings based. And those stats, albeit they're beautiful and awesome, our clients like want something else. They want someone that's going to like stand in front of them because their doctor makes really shitty comments about their fat bodies. And they're like, I need someone there so that I'm not scared to use my voice.
Yep.
And like, that's what our potential clients want. I mean, whatever yours want. And so a lot of the times we think it's like a better, you know, whatever these really awesome stats are with our presence, but that's not what they're looking for. They want somebody to like answer if they're going to poop on the table, because that's what they're most scared about. And they're too embarrassed to ask, and the blogs are vague. And so they want somebody to be like, and like, they might hire you for that question. And like, you know, and so it's really important. We want you guys to like stay in this, and you want your clients, like, how do they want to like experience you? So we're going to move on to this formula that we're going to bring up a couple times. And this is what niching is. So you hear this word all the time, but you might be like, woo, what's niching? It is your target market plus your offer. And tonight we're going to go through both of those things so you get really clear, because you might think you are, but like most likely you could get like way clearer and the benefits will be amazing. Okay, so let's first talk about target market. So a lot of times when we're talking about target market, we think of the demographics, age, maybe race, maybe socioeconomic status, maybe, you know, what area of the city they live in. Are they straight? Do they have a partner? Like these kind of things. But like when we're doing this heart-centered work that is like so nuanced, we need to go beyond demographics. So Michelle, what are some of the things that we can talk about when we like go under those demographics? That's so many things when you read about business, just like stay up there. But like, there's a lot of demographic overlap among the three of us, and you couldn't find three more different people than Michelle, Meg, and I.
Right? It's so true. So it's like, what makes people tick? What are the internal thinking? So the biggest word, if you want like a researcher like me, is the psychographics. So we have the psychographics of the inner working of the person's mind. Where are they shopping? Where are they going to the stores? Where are they, you know, what books are they reading? Who are they? What are they going to go to? I love oftentimes, where are they hanging out? Are they hanging out at a place where they can relax, or like a Zen yoga place? Or they have a comedy store at night on Friday night laughing their face off? Well, they're two very different people, you know, and they're going to want and do different things in their birth and in their life. And so looking at that and knowing who you are and who you want to interact with is important. Because they're like, you know what? I don't vibe well with people that do 6 a.m. hot Pilates. Like,
Ooh,
I can't.
I'm out too. We found a commonality.
But it's like, I'll meet you at 10 a.m. for fat Pilates. Like, I love some of that. I love this lay on the mat and deep breathe and yes.
I'll be in beds though.
Take up space. But that's who you gotta think of who you work with. What makes sense to you. We talked about this earlier. We mentioned like TikTok. Are they TikTok people? Or are they like, you know what? I actually prefer to just read medical journals and research. I don't really look at like, goofy dances and stuff. That's fine. Who are they and what are their buying habits? Where are they putting their money? Where is their ecological mind? Where are their views? And that can be challenging because people are like, I don't want to work with people that have these views. That's fine. Knowing who you want to be with is good. Knowing where you want to be, it's good because when you don't, it kind of like is like, I don't know, soul sucking sometimes. Like, oh, totally. I had to call them.
Oh, totally.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so challenging. And it's like, and it literally is like, hey, can I come over? Yeah, cool. And you're just like, oh, that conversation took my life away. But it's because the person is not someone that fits in your market. And I think that I always joke, baby doula is like, I want to help everyone. That's great.
Yeah, but you can't.
But you can't. No. It's not feasible. It doesn't make sense. And it will create immediate burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the chat box, I'd love to hear, have you guys worked with a client where you couldn't count down the minutes fast enough? Like you were like, only one more 4-hour postpartum shift, or like, this is the last egg retrieval I'm going to have to do, or, oh my goodness, I cannot wait for their postpartum checkup. And I'm like blocking their number on my phone. You can use your chat box because I know some of your names on here. I know you have, because you've called me to say, how am I going to make it through this thing of client care? Because I needed that money and I've already spent it. So, it's so challenging when you have a client that you don't mesh with, the same way when you get stuck at a dinner party next to somebody you don't like, or you're dating somebody you don't like, and you're like, Haley was saying no, but I do struggle with saying no to the folks that I know I wouldn't be a good fit. Okay, Haley, we have a guide coming out, and I literally did like a whole page of like how to get out of working with people you don't want to work with. That's coming next week. So I promise, if you're on our mailing list, you'll get it. And if not, you can head over to the website and we'll find a place, or just email us, we'll get it to you. Because it's terrible. And if you're not a good fit, someone else might have been an awesome fit. And that's the thing. I think we're like behind by like 10 slides. I don't know. I can't even remember. Oh yeah.
I'm not used to this. Okay, folks, cut me some slack. I've already taught a 2-hour class today. Okay.
But yeah, so like we want you to be with the right people, and then also building your doula network so that you can pass off people. And so we'll talk about that too at the end, just a quick like stand in your lane. So Michelle was talking about some of the ways, like the questions you can ask yourself, like where are they going? What are they buying? What are they looking at? So now we're going to see some of the ways, like if you can like sniff out the scent, like if you're like, this is my ideal client, I love working with this person. And then you can like creep around a little bit on Facebook and Instagram and Amazon. So we're going to show you how to do that. So I think Michelle's made a video. Yeah.
Let's get creepy, y'all.
You're so fancy, Michelle.
I try to be. Okay, so this is basically a screen recording of my Doula 360 professional dashboard. So you see my audience is primarily women. Now if you scroll down, they have this new thing on Facebook, Meta Business Suite. It's banging. Now you have to have over 100 people following you for this to work. Used to be 1,000, but Facebook is generous and kind.
Oh, such giver.
The algorithm.
Giving.
But yeah, and so as you can see here, it's going to show you this. I'm going to pause it. Oh wait, no, go back. So it shows right there. So you can see like my top cities where my posts are being seen. You can look back and see what my page reach is. And then this cool thing that they can see your audiences. So I can see where I'm at. Am I hitting the age groups? Now here's my potential audience. Here's a number for my potential audience and top cities, the people that are reaching me. And then, of course, the bottom top pages is what Facebook's having their top pages, not necessarily yours. But here's my potential audience. And look at my current audience. And that's literally, I'll be honest, guys, this is with very little work put into this. Like, I rarely post because I'm trying to not grow my business because I'm doing this with you guys, but I'm still getting calls. Like, I'm still getting consult calls. I'm still getting emails. I have one on Saturday at 3 p.m. And you can look at the insights of this. You can see your reach, and you can connect the two. Facebook and Instagram are interconnected, so there's less work for trying to look at your analytics. Then too, you can look at your home page of this and see the posts that did the best, my most recent posts. It'll also tell you if you can boost the posts. And Facebook, like, they will give you ad money. So they like a post is doing well. They'll say, hey, this post is doing 900% better. Do you want to, we'll give you $5 boosted for the weekend. And I'll be like, heck yeah, boost it for $5 for free. That don't bother me one bit. And you can see like your notifications too. And then this is a big thing. Those that are like, I cannot plan, I cannot post. You can plan and schedule posts. I will schedule 2 or 3 that I know that we're going to share, that I want to share, events. And then it even tells you when is the best time to plan. So after 30 days, Facebook will see, hey, everyone's looking at your posts at 4 p.m. on Fridays or 6 p.m. on Saturday. That's the best time to post. You can go ahead and look and see. Now I have it here so you can see all the different options you have. The Creator Studio to do things like this, your inbox, your planner, posts and stories that did well. They have a monthly plan. So you look by week or by month and see what you posted, how it did, and if Facebook has suggestions for you. So here's my month of April. So you can see all the posts I put up in April, and you can see, you know, which ones were Instagram, which ones were that. And they also tell you events, World Health Day, Good Friday, Hump Day. We just had yesterday, just like what works per post. And so check it out. Spend a few minutes, even if you don't plan to do anything. You know, you're like, you know what? I want to just play around and see what I can find. You can see all this information and plan all of this. Yes, all of this was free from Facebook. This is integrated into my business page from Facebook. I did not spend a dime to have these business suite integrations, but you have to have your page identified as a business in order to get these features. But yeah, like, it's pretty cool. I love it. And they always tell you what's coming up. Like you see on the right-hand side, it says 12 upcoming moments. That's Facebook's cute word for social media events or world events, like World Laughter Day, Mental Health Awareness Month. So, you know, like May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay. You can pick five things, schedule them tonight or tomorrow. Boom, 1 for each week. Those are your posts for the month. You know, that's all you can do. That alone will still generate analytics to tell you, hey, maybe Mondays is the best day to post. Maybe Mondays, I don't get the people I want. You know, maybe on Mondays, I'm getting all the people that are out of my age range and not in the correct age range. So yeah, it's a matter of your hashtags. It's a matter of your posting. And we're going to show you some more like stylistic stuff too that you can create. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I thought it was neat. Now, I will say this has changed in 6 months since we did this last chat. So keep in mind that Facebook is continually innovating. They move forward. So if this is like this and you watch this replay, say in September of 2022, I can't guarantee it looks exactly the same. So just let me know if you need help and we'll work through it together, because I guarantee you I'm adapting to it too. But yeah, it's one of those neat things. And so what do you do with this? You're like, I know too much now. I know that there's 44% in Missouri of females looking at my information. And you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm in Ohio. You know, that's okay. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody reshared your post in a parenting group, and that's why you're grabbing that, you know, area of demographics.
And so once you, oh, sorry, Michelle. Sorry.
Oh, so that's why you can just like reshare with location tags. That helps your analytics to be like, I will say, I live in a small town called Pflugerville. I know it sounds like Loogie, but it's Pflugerville, Germans, you know, but it's near Austin. So I'll say Pflugerville Black Doula. And like, that's my tag. And it pulls that analytics for my city. When I started putting a city tag, my analytics changed. So yeah.
Yeah. City tags are good. And you can start also, like, some of the other ways is like, go see what those people like. You can see like, if they like that, they'll like this. Like, there's so many things on Facebook that you can start searching of how, you know, what they're looking at. And then you start getting a digital feel for what appeals to your clients. So we have a few websites coming up here that Meg will walk us through, like, what some of the differences are. and you can see who the target market is. So if once you've sleuthed around a little bit on Facebook, you can then see how that will then transfer like the posts and stuff that they're liking into what kind of websites and the field that they like. So Meg, if you just want to talk briefly about, like, we're just going to look at these different ones, but talk about some of the, you know, important highlights as far as like images and colors and feel and what the photos look like and stuff. That'd be awesome.
Totally. So if the one that we're looking on right here, you can see that they're using a lot of white space. So this is likely going to be something that like really minimalists. So people that are like really, you know, trying to keep things like organized in their life, keep things like minimized. So this is going to be like one of the sites that they are likely going to be drawn to. They like that it's simple. They like that it's clear, and they know exactly what the options are for them. Can you go to the next one, Michelle? Oh,
yeah. And it was there.
I think we went the wrong way.
I probably did.
That's okay.
Yeah, go forward. Forward.
There we go.
Website. That's why I made a video.
Did you make a video of this, Michelle?
Yes, because it was so cute. Look at these.
Oh, they're so cute. Also, we're all obsessed with puzzles, particularly Bianca is obsessed with puzzles. So that's also why this is included on here. But you can see, again, like it's really, really pretty. It's very, very simple, really, really clean. And you know exactly what you're getting when you land on this. You know that it's going to be puzzles. And I like at the top that it's like puzzles, pillows, you know, apparel, like you know exactly what's going to be happening.
And they have a freemium. They have a freebie of coloring sheets. And I'll scroll. I'll show you in a second. Here's their About Us page. I love this About Us page with the character picture. Clear.
Oh, that's so cute.
So cute.
I love that.
So cute.
Yeah. No, it's so cute.
I love this.
I'm not trying to overtalk you. I just get because it's just a cute.
Oh, it's not good. I love it.
Oh, look at their coloring sheets.
No, it's amazing.
They're so adorable. And so, you know, like this is just so neat. And so like the range of diversity is important to them. They're just great. So and this was things we had found looking at like people that are like, for me specifically, like Black owned parenting companies that are trying to like bring things, diverse things. Like I'll tell you, growing up, I never saw a puzzle with my face on it. And look, there's a little chemistry girl with two poofs making, I don't know, some potion or something.
Making some potion.
Potion.
I don't know. Yeah. And then there's this one, which I actually saw in my local grocery store today.
Oh, no, I saw them too at a health food store, Michelle, and I was like, oh shit, we have that.
I know. I was like, because for the longest time they weren't in stores. At least not like box stores, you know. But Alfia, they sell really nice, very well put together body care items. And it's branded towards kids who have curly hair or sensitive skin. I need to do a video of this one, but it's just cute. I love the colors. This to me is like someone who, and this is like my own words, they are like working on finding like their own, like going back to like their ancestry and their own personal thoughts and things. Like they're going back to these like colors and shapes and designs that feel like home. And so I love it. I love it. But yeah, cool stuff. Oh, here you go.
It's one of my favorites.
I was gonna say, Bianca, do you want to walk us through this one? I know it's one of your favorites.
I just really love Change. I think they're a cool brand. They could push their boundaries of their size inclusiveness. So I'm going to hold that as like, because I continue to hold them accountable for that. And so I really like Change because they do lines of clothing. I have like probably almost everything that they make, and every line has a cause that they donate to. So if it's like an anti-gun cause, if it's an environmental one, you know, like for trans youth, for mental health, for like body liberation, for anti-racism work, like they'll just, whatever the line is, the proceeds go to that. And so, and they have a really, really great environmental commitment. And so I love their stuff. It's really edgy. The slogans I have, like, you know, usually like women don't owe you anything, or like, you know, women say fuck you, whatever the thing is. I have like a million. And then all the proceeds are going towards domestic violence. and those kinds of things. So I think they're a really great brand. They have a ticker across the top. So this one says "You Are Loved," which we don't have it as a video, so it looks like a static image. But they're just like regular people wearing their stuff. It's kind of like, it gave me the feel of what American Apparel wanted to be back in the day, but they ran into all the issues of underage sex workers being their models and sexual exploitation and like overseas production at not fair labor, like all that shit. But it's like what they were trying to put forward, and I feel like Change like nailed it, and that feels really important to me as a consumer, and they signal that. So if your consumers and your clients or your potential clients would find that important, this is the way you can signal that like everything you do is intentional and ethical, and here for like some cause or change, maybe even outside of just necessarily reproductive health and justice.
Yeah, super awesome.
Love it.
So we have some more, but the Instagram. So we looked at the hashtag Black Mamas Matter, and we pulled some accounts that to give you some idea depending on how they are curated. Now I will add a little Michelle asterisk. If you're starting out and you haven't figured out your joie de vivre, your like view, it's okay. You'll get there. But these are folks that are a little bit established. They have their viewpoints on what it is, and so they have a colorist going. So Nakiba has this awesome with the green. She does lots of eating the rainbow and encouraging eating of vegetables and plants. Love it. She has some really awesome pictures of her pregnancy. That's one of the ones that was very viral for her. Super cute. I love how it's set up. It's like a story mode with like a text and then some change of her family and then some food and some family and some action videos. She also does a lot of reels mixed with multi-images. So you'll click, like, you can see where it has like multiple images. It'll be a reel and like 5 images, a reel, 5 images. And so there's always an option of you don't have to like withhold. You can give the people what they want, which is you. Yeah. They want to see you. They want to know what are you eating. We were chatting with Grace from Bonjibon today, and she was like, when I started putting dog pictures up, people were like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, okay, cool, you like me. Like, like the dog stuff works. But yeah, and then too, oh my goodness. So Carmen Bridgewater, amazing Dallas-based photographer.
Beautiful.
Impeccable. Like, you see a picture, you're like, I really want to be your friend. Like, I really want to be your friend. But yeah, so I did, I'm trying to think. Here's, so you can see what it is. And I did a recording so you can see what it looks like. Her pages, gorgeous photos, raw birth images, in your face with what's happening with these families. And then I'm going to show you the one that caught my heart, like just caught my heart. So you can see it's got 425 likes as of today, like almost 30 comments. And like, again, multiple images, and they're all with the same soft tones. It shows the story of a mama who's trying to labor at home, and now they had to have a hospital transfer, but like, we do what you have to do. And the story of that, really, really intuitive photography for them. And these posts are getting lots of views. And so it isn't always the part of like, I'm trying my best, but like sometimes it's the way it's put together and the way it's created. This is an awesome video. If you want to go see an awesome like tub birth, go watch that video. Not now, but go watch it on Instagram.
Yeah, hang out with us here.
Yeah.
But super rad.
And also you can see she doesn't have a lot of text. So we're showing these differences so you can see she like is almost exclusively images, carousels, some videos. But when you land on it, it's the same tone, just images, always the same.
Yeah.
I think you have a super fun one next. Yes.
Hey Carter books. So we're also giant book nerds here. And super. Saturday is indie bookstore day. Keep that in your mind.
Yeah.
But yes, like this is a bookstore, Hey Carter Books, a retail store that specifically focuses on representation of Black children in publications. And so they're going to have fun, colorful pictures of kiddos reading their books and of all different stories. And just people they're interacting with. So you can see like their target market is showing right there in the images the people they're trying to connect to. Nothing in here says sale today or here's a link. It's like, hey, here are some fun books. We had, Hey Little Brown Boy from Hey Cardo, they release, and they have it there, the kids watching it and reading it. So cute. And so, so amazing. I just love it. Can't get enough. And then I love this one too. So we actually this person had multiple hashtags. They pulled from our other one, which we had was COVID baby previously, and Black Mamas Matter. You know how these things overlap. But yeah, visually, this grabs your heart. You can see there's passion involved with the body, love, Black love's being shown. And it's okay because you can see each of these images, each of these people have their own story, but yet it works together in unison with what they put together. So I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Good stuff. And this one too, I left because I thought it was so cute and I couldn't take it out. I was like,
the baby? I know.
Yeah, the little baby. I want to squeeze that baby so bad. And I'm usually not a baby squeezer. I'm usually just like cute. Here's your child. I want to squeeze that baby. But yeah, so like people that had babies then and diversity, they works to show their family. Don't have to be a brand to have great pictures. You don't have to be a brand or have a business page in order to be yourself. Be yourself. That's like my biggest thing when it goes to this is just exist online and don't stress about the rest. Just post what you want. And then the Coco Mamas, awesome graphics.
It's a great channel.
Super cool channel, man. Super cool. So I pulled their top 8 or top 9. Thought it was really cool to show how they have some images in some line drawing, but it's connecting. They have some that are line drawn with images, and they have some stats built into it. And you can see that's medical information, health information, and this is from someone who is a registered nurse working in L&D and postpartum. But they are going to show you evidence-based information, and it is directed towards someone like what I put for Black Mama Matters. So it works within this. Super neat. And so I did a screen recording too because I wanted to show you some of the more intricate parts of it real quick, just 30 seconds to see like how they're putting this contact up. It's amazing. And it's okay that they're only getting, 500 looks or 30 likes. Those people that are reading it is who they need to read it. Okay?
Yes.
It does not have to be 1,000 people for it to be meaningful for someone. Mm-hmm. So like the curb safety, we don't know who saw that. It might have saved someone's life, that one post. Sis, keep going. Super important to just note that you don't have to have all the likes, all the follows to make an impact with someone. Your micro marketing, your 5 minutes of a week can really impact someone. So I will get off my soapbox and we'll continue.
So Meg and I are going to show you also, there's something, obviously we know what Amazon is. Mm-hmm. Amazon is the most massive gatherer of information. Like the amount of information they own, our Alexa's always listening. Like it tracks everything we do. It's bonkers, which is why the owner is in the top 3 wealthiest people on this planet. So most businesses can't afford, if you go to www.alexa.com, you can subscribe and buy that data. But this is like the people that buy the data are like, Apple and Toyota and the NBA and like very massive corporations that have millions and millions and millions to spend on data analysis. We don't. Like most of us have $0 to spend on this. So we could go into Amazon and kind of find like sneaky ways to get some of that information. So I picked a book that is bonkers fat phobic, and I did this intentionally, and I'm going to make Meg do it with me, because this book is really, really popular. And I think that by using this, you can see, like, even though people might, it's sneaky. And so I think that's a really important way, because if you see it on your clients' coffee table, you can ask them about it and then see where they sit on it. And you can be like, oh my God, my sister keeps buying me these books and they're like super problematic. Now, you can go over to some of the bad reviews on this. So like, let's look at how we can use this. So take it away.
Here's table contents. So you can kind of see what we're dealing with, orange and pumpkin seed spinach salad, slips, herb waters, green juice, chopped salad, quinoa, veggie, cheeseburgers. I'm sorry. No.
As a pregnant person, Meg, did you ever want to eat any of these things out of curiosity?
Cucumber, maybe, just because of the waters. No.
I know.
Yeah, basically,
No.
absolutely not. Michelle, can you skip forward so we can see the bad reviews? Because I actually think that this helps us so much. So what this is able to do is actually gives us an idea of what we can fill, right? So we can see that, like, I received this book as a gift and I'm not impressed. The recipes required uncommon ingredients. So if we were wanting to work with somebody, like say that we felt really passionately about nutrition and like dismantling like weight stigma and like diminishing eating disorders,
with love.
really wanted to eating with love. There you go. Look at you. So we really wanted to like support people in eating with love, and we wanted to make it a cookbook, for example. We would be like, okay, great, we're gonna flag that. We really want to make sure that this has ingredients that people have at their house. Okay. We want to make sure that it's like got like really good like pictures, that it looks yummy, and it's like something that your target market would like. So we're getting some information from here that this like wasn't the greatest fit for these people. And then maybe it was for other people. But this gives us a lot of information that we're like, hey, great, I can see what they didn't do. So now I can know what I want to do.
I love how
and so we have an awesome idea.
Hipsters only.
I know.
I love it. I just want to point out
this is what's on people's shelf.
I like how the middle person for the good says, I got it as a gift. Heard the breakfast bars were good. And like, good cookbook after the pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know?
None of this like seems appealing in pregnancy.
Because sometimes people are like, oh, there's all these great reviews. This review is talking about how the book is great if you're not pregnant, which is what the book was not intended for. You know, like it's not for that. So I thought that was just hilarious.
So could you flip forward just to the blog? So Meg, how could we, what could we do if we've gathered this content then?
Yeah, so we could, like we've got right here. So an example, do you want a delicious meal? So a couple of things that were also flagged in that. It was expensive and it was food people didn't often have. So want a delicious meal plan that doesn't require spending $100 at Whole Foods, which is great. I might for like feeding with love, I might say want a delicious like food list that doesn't require spending like I would probably not say meal plan. But like if somebody wrote that, then you would buy that. You're like, okay, great. Or like I would download that if somebody was offering me this. I'd be like, okay, great. And everyone, like with inflation right now, with what's happening, groceries are expensive as well. Like it's bananas. This is like hitting that market of like, okay, great. It's giving me ideas around food, and I'm not having to spend $1 million.
Exactly.
It's hitting multiple markets.
So
okay, so now we can work on the offer part. So Meg gave one example of like a digital offer you could do, but like we're geniuses, and Meg, I know that so many of our clients, it can feel hard that they can't recognize their genius. And it's, we're socialized to like really devalue most of the things that we're really good at. So what are some of the questions that one could ask themselves to identify what the zone of genius is?
Yeah. So think about like areas that you excel. What are things that you're good at and it doesn't have to be like academic, or it doesn't have to be specific to doula, but are you like a really good listener? Are you the person that out of all of your friends that they come to you when they have a problem? Are you the like researcher? Are you the person that they're just like, okay, I got some shitty news from my doctor, I want to know how to like what I should do? Are you that person? Like what are things that you bring? Also, I just want to flag, we were talking to an expert in business today. And even this person who is doing incredible things straight up said, I just want to flag for you guys. Like, I don't have, like, I'm a high school dropout. I don't have a ton of like post-secondary education. We're like, okay, cool, great. Experience is so important. So valid. So when you're figuring out your zone of genius, no one can do what you can do. You bring something special. And I know that we talked about it a little bit earlier when we were talking about that target market, but this also helps to decrease any competition you might feel, like that feeling of like scarcity and that there's not enough. But when you're like really clear, you're like, you know what, this is actually what I am probably the best at, then it doesn't have to be that way, because everyone has a thing that they're really, really great at. So we're going to brainstorm some questions to help you with this. So why should your client choose you? Like, what makes you different from other people in your area? Are you fun? Are you really experienced? Are you like socially conscious? You know, are you the most experienced? Have you been doing this for the longest time? What do your friends and family always ask you? Like, what are the things that they're coming to you for? What do I know a lot about? And what problems can I solve? So this is the thing that so often we kind of can sometimes like forget that we are actually solving people's problems. So when we get really, really clear on this target market, when we get really, really clear on our offer, it's because we know the problem that we're solving. And so it makes it a lot easier for us to be like, oh, actually, I've created this perfect thing for you because I know this is your problem. And so that's how we're able to like really, really feel confident and comfortable with our offering. So
perfect. Okay, so remember we had that formula where we talked about our target market and our offer equals our niche. So we're going to put it together now. So if we move just through a couple slides, we want you see this in the visual. We've got our niche. So we talked about the two pieces, and you have to find the perfect balance. So the next few slides are going to be visual. We would love to hear from you. So we're going to see if you can answer these questions. So on the next one, we're going to make sure that you have a place that makes your business sustainable. Because sometimes we need to make sure that we have a market to gather from. So the first slide we have is to show a broad offer with a specific market. And you can see that there's a space there where your perfect clients are, where those two circles overlap like a Venn diagram. So can anyone think of an example of the business that would have a broad offer to a specific market, which would leave that space for your perfect clients? And we're going to show with this visual why it's really, really important to niche. And like, that is the only way to make a sustainable business, really. So while you're thinking about this, does anyone here on the panel have an example of a broad offer with a specific market?
Well, I actually wanted to go off of what Laura shared. So she was saying, I feel like the sleep world is so overloaded with sleep trainers. I'm a sleep scientist, and I decided to go the opposite way when like she's a sleep coach, and even with holistic, people still think it's sleep training. Yeah. So an example for her might be, so a broad offer would be, you know,
a sleep plan.
A sleep plan for your 3-month, or let's keep it broad, not specific time. Yeah. But like a sleep plan for parents who are looking for alternatives that are not sleep training. Like that's a clunky one. But like that would be that broad offer with a really specific market. It's really clear who that's for.
Or a sleep plan for parents of multiples.
Yeah. Totally.
So that's a broad offer. So a sleep plan, like super broad, to parents of multiples. We have a perfect client spot. So if we move to the next one, it's the opposite. So it's a very specific offer to a broad market. And so that's essentially if you inverse it. So you would have like a specific offer would be like a VBAC CBE class to like anybody that has experienced a VBAC, which is, as we know, a massive group.
Yes.
You know, and so, or you might have like, you know, anybody like with a chronic illness, like a very specific food plan for them in pregnancy for like anybody that's pregnant that would have that need. So you can see that specific broad, we still have a really nice offer client zone there. Yeah. There's also the option if you get into that specific target market on the next slide with a specific offer with a specific target market. Now this still has a perfect client spot. It's not as big, but this would be if you offer like a really specialty service. So you might be doing like a VBAC class for trans birthers. So that would mean that you'd have like enough trans birthers in your community that they would have had a first birth leading to an operative birth. Now there's a need for that. And so this might be a digital thing, and it's like, you know, it might be a higher price point. It might have got funding from, you know, the health services of your county or your province, state, country. And so you can either charge a premium or get funding because it's serving an equity seeking group. And that's how your business would be sustainable, even though it's got a smaller one. This might also be where some of the luxury services or like exclusive services would land. And you still have enough to be sustained because you only might take on like 8 clients a year, depending on what the service is. And then the next slide is where most doulas and birth workers and entrepreneurs sit. And it's a broad offer. I'm a birth doula to a broad market, anybody that's expecting. And that's how so many of us hit the ground running.
They're not touching.
I know
there's no sweet spot.
There's no sweet spot.
There's
nothing. They don't even touch.
Yeah.
And I know that this, Meg, I love your story. That's where you sat.
Yep.
Because you're a nice girl.
Yeah. When I originally started, this is what I wanted, right? I was like, so many birth workers. I wanted to serve everyone, and there wasn't a ton of doulas in my area. So I thought, I don't actually really have to niche right away. I actually could just do it for everyone. And not only was it not super effective in getting me clients, I got burnt out real fast. Because I was trying to, I was going and doing education here and I was doing classes there. And I was in so many different places. Whereas once I got more and more and more clear, is like, this is who I want to work with. This is what I'm offering. Then it became so much easier because I knew what my offer was. I knew who my clients were, knew where they were. And then once I started getting those clients, they told everyone else. So like we talked about, that word of mouth becomes so much easier when you're like really clear on all of these things. You can get real exhausted real quick.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yes. So Michelle, we've talked about so many of the benefits as we go through this. How will your business change when you do niche? Which is, that's when we have an overlap, y'all. And we need the overlap.
It changes so good. And it's like this thing, it's almost like, you walk into a dark room and you can't see anything. And then next thing you know, you're where you want to be. You have a light that's like shining so bright. Because before you're just like drowning and you're overwhelmed and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so that weeding out that happens, you're like, okay, this doesn't belong here. This doesn't belong here. That doesn't belong here. And you're focusing. And the next thing you know, every client's awesome. Every experience is wonderful.
Yeah.
And you're working with people you want to work with. It's less stress. That scarcity feeling of like, I don't have enough. It's gone. Like you can just exist as a birth worker and do great. And so it makes it less stressful. You're not overwhelmed. You can focus. And then 2, you know where you're at. You know who you're supposed to be. You're working with yourself in the way that makes sense for you because you're working with people that want you. And they do. Yeah. Like if you're like, nobody does. They do. They're looking for you. Mm-hmm. Your ideal client target market is looking for you right now. So I think that's really important. And then, once you have that, we talked about this earlier, that word of mouth increases. And so you have that ability to market and chat. And so I like legitimately have had word of mouth stuff happen that I had no clue it was even happening. Because I was so focused on getting where I needed to be. I had some some clients. I was like, how did you find me? And they're like, oh, I found this person put a post up about you in their parenting group for parents over 30. And I found it and I love working with them. It was the best choice. And so I figured, oh no, whoever they work with, I'll do the same. And then I had like 4 or 5 clients subsequently from that word of mouth. Because I was really intentional with who I was looking for and who I wanted to work with. Mm-hmm. And so it really, it's nice. It's nice.
And when you think of the word of mouth, there's some awesome questions. We're about to just open a Q&A in 1 second. But when you think of your word of mouth, like so many of us have like a really long elevator pitch. But if you're at a party and someone's like, what do you do? Like rather than trying to explain what a birth worker is, you'd be like, for me, I know that, I could say each of ours very succinctly, but I'd be like, I make sure queer birthers stay safe in our medical system through their labor and delivery. And Meg could say like, I keep fat bodies safe as they go through their pregnancies. And Michelle could say, I make sure that I keep Black birthers safe in our racist Austin hospitals. Mm-hmm. And then people would be like, oh, I have a sister who's whatever, gay, Black, fat, like she's pregnant. Can I get your card? And they remember you. But if you were like, so I do whatever, and you go on along like what doulas do, like you lose people But so whatever the thing is, so somebody here is, asked about unmedicated births, which I want to expand on in the Q&A. But you can say like, I help folks whose goal is to have a natural birth or unmedicated, or however, your community's using the words, which that's why you have to go sleuth, because are they saying unmedicated? Are they saying natural? Are they saying like uninterrupted? Are they saying physiological birth? And you have to find out what they're saying, because, that's why we operationally define internally. So when I say natural birth, I actually don't ever say natural birth, but like, I would say a pelvic birth, like that's uninterrupted when I'm teaching, but like, that's how we teach. But you'd have to find out what your clients are saying. So they might just say home birth, because to them, that's what they're assuming. So you'd say like, I support home births. And then people are like, oh, my cousin's having one of those. Can I get your card? And that's really easy to remember, because if you spent any longer than that, most of the world, they don't care about reproductive health and justice, hence the thing. They're only half listening most of the time. And if you have something that's like, boom, your word of mouth can increase. So they're like, oh, I'm fat and pregnant, or plus size and pregnant. And that's, again, why you have to figure out what your folks would say. I live in a big body. I don't know. There's just like so many words.
I just say I'm a fat. Like, do you identify as a fat?
I'm a fat. And so you'll know what you're saying depending on who you're talking to. So I work with queer clients. If I'm out in the straight world, I'm like, oh, I serve the queers as they go through reproductive health and justice. But if I was in a queer space, I'd be like, I serve lesbians as they're having their babies, so that it would be very obvious that, like, who I'm here for. I don't work with queer dads and their surrogates. I like those. That's not what I do. But out in the world, I could say that. And then if people had more questions, they could dig deeper. But you have something that's like really clear and obvious because you've niched. And one of the examples I love is if you Googled accounting software and you're searching, all of you here, birth workers, you're searching and you're like, accounting software ABC, accounting software 123, accounting software for doulas. You guys are going to buy accounting software for doulas. Yep. Because they'll know your pain points. They'll know the kind of things we put in, which are weird. Like, we have weird expenses. They're going to know that we have, we get multiple payment plans from our clients. They know we have maybe a place where we want to put in our prenatal appointments or our postpartum visits. And that software will account for it because it's made for us. And so that's like a really, like, I remember I heard that, it was something a bit different, but I heard that and I was like, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Because you want people to search and be like, I'm here to like rock and roll radical birth. And then you're like, cool. And the images are black and red and silver and gold and sparkly. And they say fuck in big letters on the website. And you're like, yeah, that's for me.
Works.
Versus Meg has to keep her colors, pink and soft and light, and use the word like mamas and stuff. And, Michelle loves bright colors and she's bold and she's like, I'm coming in. Texas, we do it bigger and I've got you. And like, it's very, very clear. Yeah. So, I know we covered a lot really quickly. We have some bonuses that we're going to drop here. So as we mentioned, in May, we're having our very first annual Bust and Barrier sale. And this is Bust and Barriers because education is the first place that we can go for folks who identify as women and gender nonconforming and are trans awesome folks. And we can break down these barriers so that we can go make a difference for birthers out in the world. We have everything 40% off, which is very, very exciting. So you can grab a spot in our programs. I think we have a scroll of some of them. But if you go to babelmia.com/BBS for Barrier Bust and Sale, you can put in your email and just get the code. You're going to get the code first. So that's coming soon. That will be on May 13th. So if you put that in, you don't have to buy anything. You're just going to get a code when you're ready for it. And you can see we've got our MSP program, which is our birth worker certification. We've got our infant and family sleep specialist. You can find out more about that, which is our part of our nurtured sleep revolution, where we're like breaking down what we're doing to families around sleep and sleep training, like enough. We have our birth worker business school, which is all ethical feminist business practices, just like this. This is just like a tiny, tiny taste. It's a whole program like that. That one is sliding scale to support you and your business. We have our infant and family sleep professional training. So this is how you talk about sleep.
This is the first time we're announcing it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's brand new. So that's really exciting. This, again, it's supporting you in niching. So you can get really clear. This is what I do. This is my message. Here it is. We have our pre and postnatal fitness certification, which is like dismantling fat phobia and talking about movement, safe movement for folks who are expecting or have just given birth because bodies are changing. And then we have our Kickstarter package, which is all like your business in a box. We also have some workshops, which I think we have another slide of that.
Oh, we have bundles too. If you want to do more than one thing.
Bundles.
The bundles are back, baby. Like
yeah, they've been gone and we have them back as of tonight. The bundles are back. So if there's anything you like, you can put them together for even more savings. We've got workshops. We've got our Move Your Business Online, which is really helpful, especially with COVID. World's opening, closing. Who can keep up? And we've got a whole bunch of freebies on the page too that you can just go get right now. Like just go dip on down there and get some freebies. And you're in. You get the code. You're in our community. You can hang out with us. You don't have to spend a penny if it doesn't feel right, and you can just like wait. And if there's something that grabs you, you can chat with us and make sure it feels good. Informed consent is key. There's no rush on this stuff. I mean, we have a week of sales because it gets really busy and we need all hands on deck. But like we're giving a full, I think it's like 8-9 days so that people can talk to your people, make sure you've got your systems in place before you take any programs. We really, really want you to feel supported. If you have any questions, we have Kelly who is standing by. We have her and our beautiful family. Kelly, who has been with Babel Mia for 11 years. She was my first employee ever, and now she runs the show. And she's always standing by. You can reach her info@babelmia.com if you need any support, you have any questions, or you want to talk to one of us. We have a wrap-up promise like we do today, like every day. We're going to give you real, simple-to-use information from our experience. When you apply it, will help you build and grow your fertility, birth, and parenting business. We talked so fast. We only went a tiny bit over.
Prizes!
Okay. Prizes. We have a
so.
shop and all the proceeds. I wish I could. Yes. Kelly is so good. I know. She's so fast. Thank you, Fee, for saying she'll love hearing that. We have a swag shop that you can head over to. All the proceeds go to our scholarship fund to ensure that folks who could otherwise not access education get access to it. It's bonkers. It's amazing. We have students in 36 countries. Like the community is so wonderful and diverse and has so many really, really important voices in it so that we can have like a true global perspective as we're talking about reproductive health and justice. And we can't do it just with these like little silos and vacuums. We have to look at the whole picture. So you can purchase anything from the swag shop to continue to support the scholarship fund. We have a prize.
Yep. Are you ready? For V. Roberts. Page V. Roberts. Whoop, whoop.
V! Whoop, whoop.
Awesome.
Oh, V was just praising Kelly. So V can write to Kelly because you know she's real fast. And just make sure that we have your phone number and your address so that we can send that to you. I saw there was a few questions that I wanted to make sure we answered. I think the next are we at questions? I think we're at questions.
Questions.
Oh yeah. Okay, so one is if you could compare, like, do we need a platform for folks to get a hold of you, or can you completely rely on word of mouth? Meg and Michelle, I'm going to toss that one to y'all.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have an existence online. Even if it's not social media, I feel like you need to have something. So even if you don't want to do a website, a Google Maps, Google My Business set up. Mm-hmm. Or an Instagram you post to, something that's searchable that can be found with your name, your business name. It doesn't have to be that's your main focus, but I think it's 2022. People are going to go Google stuff. And I'm transparent. I don't have a website right now, but I have social media and I have Google My Business. And so I love to see, okay, I got my report for March. And so I had 50 people click my Instagram link from March. That's a lot of people that clicked my link in 1 month. Like a lot more than I can take on this year, Like I can't take 50 births this year. That's bonkers. Which is fine. That's showing me though that people in my area are looking at doulas and then enter my zip code. And I'm coming up because I'm listed as with my address dropped. So that alone is very helpful, and it's free, easy to set up. You can post to it like you do social media. So you can post, things about what you're up to, an event you're going to go to. Maybe you're going to go to a doula meet night at your local community store, community place. You can post that in there and it still links through it. So that's a free non-social media platform. And that helps word of mouth. People can send your link, so that's my thought.
Yes.
I just want to add in there too. Part also is that people actually are pretty leery online at this point in time. So if you don't have an online presence, people actually might think that it's not a real thing.
Yes.
So that's another.
You got to be somewhere.
Yes.
And get your clients to do Google reviews and stuff, and that does add legitimacy. So if you just start there, that's a good starting place. So one of the questions, Laura, I love is how do you do sales or discovery calls without being pushy? And this is something I feel very passionate about because, like I even said, I'm not pushing anybody to buy anything. None of us here. We only want you to be here if you're like, oh, I like what you said about that, and I want to learn more, and it's going to fit for us. And then we say we're here if you want to talk. We open it up. You can literally call us on our cell phones tomorrow if you want to talk about any of this, because we deeply believe we're solving problems. And so we know our business school is bonkers. We know our MSP program, like our birth worker training, I can say with confidence it's the best training in the world. And we just keep doing it better. And so because I feel so strong about it, which sometimes is scary because our numbers might be a bit lower, and it's very expensive to run our programs because we buy ethical software and we do Facebook ads and we pay everybody a living wage who has anything to do with it. And so all of these things, it's a fine balance, but we're really clear, it's only going to make sense and you're only going to have your life changed if it's the right fit. Because we don't ever want somebody to finish and feel like, oh, I didn't choose that. The same way our clients, we don't want to be like, do you know what? Breaking your water might actually speed this up because you want to move things along just as much. Because I don't know that feeling. I've been there at 4 a.m. where you're like, do you know what? I have had a lot of luck with my clients taking this. I've done it. I know I have. And if that had gone wrong, I knew I had nudged somebody in the wrong direction. So if you just continue to be really, really clear about what you want to do for those folks, and just say, do you want to talk more about this? Or I have time, and let them come to you. I know right now we were thinking about buying some ad space digitally, and the girl's so pushy with me. I took 3 emails today where I said, I'm too busy, I can't talk. And she kept being like, well, I look forward to just jumping on and we'll make it 5 minutes instead of 15. And I was like, I'm too busy, I don't want to talk. And I had to do 3 emails, and I would have bought from her, but she wasn't listening to me. And so I think if you just listen and talk and solve pain points, people light up when it's the right feel. And I know Meg and Michelle, they're 2 of my favorite people on the planet, but they sat through a webinar listening to me talk just like this, and something in it lit up. I never said buy now. I never put a scarcity thing. I wasn't like, we want you in our program. Every time I finish a webinar, I'm like, if this feels right, we're super excited to have you. If it doesn't, come give us a call. And if you're still on the fence, and if you want to hang out in our community for free and learn more about us, that's cool too, because we still want you to benefit from these things. And so if you can take that attitude, which can feel really scary when you're poor and really scary when you're under-resourced and you need, I get it. I've also been a very under-resourced entrepreneur living well below the poverty line. And every time I'd be like, fuck, please buy my doula package. But anytime I had that attitude, people were like, we'll call you. But when I went in being like, I know I'll change your life working with you. I'll change your life.
Yes. One thing that I really love that I started doing, I'm very confident this is probably a Bianca Sprague thing. But when I go to consults, so Laura, a couple of things that just I wanted to note. One is when I walk into a consult, I talk to folks as though they're already my clients, because they've gone out of their way, they've booked their consultation, they feel like I'm a good fit for them. So I actually just speak to them as though they're already my client. So then it's not this well, if you like me and, if this feels good, and then, if you maybe pay for me, and then we'll just I'm just like, okay, great. So when we meet for prenatal 1, this is what we'll talk about, and this is what we'll go over.
Good one.
So that was a really good one. And also getting really comfortable talking about money.
Yep.
That's where that like pushy feeling sometimes comes in, that like discomfort of it's like really salesy. But when we're really clear that like, this is what it costs, and I feel really confident and comfortable in my pricing, and I'm making a living wage, and what I'm providing you is such a good deal. Like, it's such a valuable service.
Yep.
That it feels really, really, it changes the dynamic versus being like, oh, I'm $1,000. Please pay.
I think too, if you saying I hate talking about money, you need to sit in the mirror and say, I'm worthy of getting money. I am worth my fee. And say those numbers out loud. Say, my fee is $1,500 for a 3-month plan. It's $1,500 for a 3-month plan, and I will get you the best sleep your family has ever had. You're going to be the lack of sleep that you're experiencing is going to be a thing of the past. You're going to look and be like, this is the sleep that we've always been looking for. You know, say those words that you know your clients are dying to hear. You know, and also too, use the words you need to use. So like for Laura, say, I provide biological neuroscience-based sleep support. Like say those words with like, I don't know, like I always see like the Superwoman pose, you know, like your arms on your hips, you're like breathing deep, full chest of air, be like, I am a sleep educator that brings the power of comfortable rest. You know, say it with like this girthy strength. That was really good. Know?
I love that.
Right?
So I'm like,
I know. Write it down.
Like Laura, I know
it's recorded. Thank God. Yeah,
like Laura, you also know the difference you're making. Like, so sleep is one of our pillars of Bebo Mia, right? And when I think about like the patriarchy wants us to like fucking cut our sleep. Like, are you kidding me that you want me to cut my sleep to like whatever the goals are of the patriarchy, that I look a certain way, my house looks a certain way, my kid looks a certain way, my car looks a certain way. Like I got the fucking sandwiches for the PTA. Like when I think about that, the society wants me to give up the pillar that's as important as oxygen, food, water, sleep, right? And so you can connect to your fire to be like, parents are getting robbed and their doctors are lying to them and their fucking friends are making them feel crappy because they don't want to co-sleep, and we've normalized putting in earplugs until our babies throw up and pass out from like so if you can get yourself there and connect to your mad, like I can't not. So when I talk to people, I'm like, this is how I talk to them. I mean, depending on, I get a read on if they're like more funny or if they'd like if they came with that, or to be like, sleep is being negotiated with and you're suffering and what you're doing is fine and your baby is normal. I mean, I'd say it, I'm not mad at them. So I say it lovingly to them, but like, I get so mad behind the scenes because we have a lot to be mad about. And then you go out and people like want you to fix it for them because you see why they're mad. They might think like, oh, well, you know, we haven't had time to snuggle and I would really like a second nap. But like, that's not what it is. They're suffering. Parents are suffering and we have a solution, or parents are scared that they're not going to survive their birth. And we have that solution. So like, I'm so mad all the time. And I like stomp around my house and I air kick and I yell at Meg and I yell at Michelle, not at them, but like with them because we're all mad. And then I bring that to be like, do you want me to stand in front of you like a human shield from the world? I've got you. And then you're not talking about like shit like that. Like, you don't have to do the like, I'm sorry, and I'm $1,200. I'm like, I'm $3,000 for a birth doula, but like, I won't let anybody fuck with you because I'm super mad. But I say it nicely.
Like, great, so good. We ain't no good girls no more. We're worth the money. We're hard work. We're hardworking people. And so it's powerful. Also, too, I want to ask, Jacqueline, you're saying that people are telling you charge too much. Who is saying that?
I'm
Who is saying that? I guarantee you, like, I'll tell you, Bianca heard my feed the other day and she was like, Michelle Cruz, no!
I yelled at her. I yelled at her.
Where I'm at in my location of where I can't charge more, I'll price myself out for my community. I'm already charging the most for my zip code for where I'm at. But I know if I like literally, this is Austin's one of those weird, gentrified, segregated cities. If I cross the highway, I can charge $500 more, hands down. But over here, if I do, it's like, oh, Oh, no. Okay, so it's coming from your consultant. Check.
Yeah, your market has to be able to handle it.
Yeah, check your area and see.
Yeah, for sure.
Find your target market. See if that's actually what's fitting.
Yeah.
Maybe the way you're communicating it too. I'm not like it's your fault. But like see how you're saying.
Yeah.
But just be able to like, you know what? This fee is like someone asked me the other day, you know, what's my fee for? So my fees pays my bills. Like it is my income for my family to survive. You know, like this is part of, it's not like it's, oh, this is spending money. Like, no, this is not.
And even if it was, that's what it costs to have Michelle there. And so, Jacqueline, I want to know if you could take less clients. So I have a whole bunch of questions, so maybe we can just email about it. But like, we could just chat about it. But like, really, I am $3,000, and most people are like, but I'm like, I only want 2 or 3 clients a year that are like, yep, I'll do that to stay safe, because I know our hospitals in Toronto are like abysmal. Like they're terrible because we're touted as like the best facilities. And so they're highly medicalized. They've got all this like equipment that they're dying to use at all times. Like all of this stuff is happening. And so I'm like, listen, it's the wild, wild west. You're going in here with 2 dykes. Like, I promise you're going to need somebody else with you. So like, that's, you know, that's what it costs to have me, because I give it my all, and I'm cool only taking on 3 clients rather than dropping my rate to 2,000 and taking on 6 clients, which was not total equitable math, but you know what I mean. So, okay, Jacqueline, send me an email. We'll do a chat. I'll rant at you and you can yell at me and it'll be a good time.
Also, I do want to just say, Jacqueline, you're killing it on your social media. Your Instagram is freaking awesome. So I think you're doing a really great job specifically in that area. So like, let's chat, because here for you.
Yeah, for sure. We went way over. We were like, you guys, we're going to keep it under an hour, and now we're at an hour and 20 minutes. So there we go. Thank you everybody for joining us. These were like some quick tips that we have. We have some freebies coming up. If you're not on the mailing list, go on the website, jump on the mailing list, because we have a whole week of business tips for free, like cheat sheets, guidebooks, like all the things you guys are asking about that we're just giving away next week for fun, super fun. So go sign up if you're not on the webinar, on our mailing list. Go check out the sale to get your code. So that's babelmia.com/BBS. You can find it there in the chat. Thank you, Melly. Melly is incredible behind the scenes here, typing away. Michelle, Meg, I'm so happy to see you all day long, as always. All day long, as always. Thank you, everyone, for joining and participating. We had so many of our alumni here, so many new faces. That's always really exciting to see our community grow and expand. If you're watching a replay, you can always hit us up at info@babelmia.com. We have so many fun and exciting things. We've got some interviews coming up, book club, giveaways, games day, prizes. Don't go away. May is going to be bonkers. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye, everybody.